Hey everyone, it's Roshi. So in today's vlog, I'm actually going to be doing a little bit of a sit down so that I can tell you guys about my gallbladder removal surgery. And it has been 1 month, so I'm going to be telling you a little bit of an update as well. After I had my baby Mace, I was experiencing these like abdominal pains kind of in my upper abdominal area every month. It would come and go, and it was just, for some reason, I thought that it was menstrual cramps, and I thought it was associated with my period for some reason. And so I just was like, okay, I guess this is my life now. I just have really painful cramps. And so I wasn't really doing anything about it. I was just like, oh my gosh, this hurts so bad. And I would literally be rolling on the bed, or the first time it happened, I was rolling on the floor. It felt like contractions. Like it was so bad. The pain was so bad. It was actually worse than contractions. That's what it felt like in the moment. But yeah, so I would be rolling around and just in pain. I couldn't do anything. So I would say that that started probably 8 months prior to me actually doing something about this whole situation. It wasn't until last month when I got my surgery that I realized, oh my gosh, something seriously is wrong and I need to go into the hospital. I was experiencing the same pain, and it was more intense than it was, and it was more frequent than it was. So I was like, okay, this is weird. I'm not even close to my period. Like, what is going on? I went into urgent care, and basically they said it's acid reflux. I'm not going to put you in through any sort of x-ray machine or, you know, do anything like that. No ultrasounds, nothing. So here's some medication and you will be on your way. And so I was like, okay, I guess it's just acid reflux. And it was not just acid reflux. That happened a week prior to me actually getting hospitalized. And so within that week, I was just taking the pain medication that I was prescribed. There was this acid reflux medication as well. But as soon as I stopped taking the pain medication, I noticed, oh my gosh, the pain is back. And I was still taking the acid reflux medication and the pain was still there. So I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know what is going on, but this hurts so bad. And so for the next couple of days I tried to stick through it, but it wasn't until I started throwing up. I could not keep food down, even if it wasn't spicy, even if it wasn't oily. I could not keep food down. So I went to bed, and I couldn't sleep either. So I remember going to bed and literally just rolling around and crying and just feeling terrible because I was in so much pain. I was talking to my husband and he was like, you need to go get checked out. And I just kept saying, no, I'll push through it and it'll go away. When I woke up the next morning, the pain was still there. It was still intensified. It was still really bad. Anything I did was not working. So I just went straight into urgent care, and there was still 5 people ahead of me. So I just told them that I'm gonna walk down to where the ER is and just get checked up by them. I wouldn't usually even go to the ER, especially during this whole coronavirus time. I mean, it's scary. Like, I don't want to go to the hospital just in general. I don't want to go anywhere and see a doctor, you know? So I was already scared to do that, but then on top of that, it's like I'm having this pain, so I have to get checked up. So then I went in, and it probably took a good hour before a doctor came in. So the nurses were checking my vitals, asking me questions, you know, what are my symptoms, when did this start, and you know, what's my pain level and everything. Then the doctor came in, he evaluated me, and then he pressed on this where the gallbladder is. I don't have it anymore, but where the gallbladder is supposed to be, he was pressing on that area, and he said it was rock hard, and he was like, that's your gallbladder. And my husband's mom is a nurse, and she actually was telling me for the longest time, like, I think it might be your gallbladder. And I was like, I don't know, like, they just told me it was acid reflux. I don't know what's going on. And so she was 100% right. Along with the doctor realizing that it was my gallbladder, the main thing that was causing the pain for me was that there was a gallstone in my bile duct. So then I had to have 2 procedures. I had to have an endoscopy, and then I had to also have the surgery to remove the gallbladder, which had gallstones. So the gallstone was stuck in the bile duct, and then there were all these other gallstones, and the gallbladder just needed to go. The whole process of it was, I was in ER, the nurses, you know, came in, checked my vitals, checked everything out. After he came in, he asked me everything. Then I was on pain medication to help with the pain, and I couldn't eat or drink anything, nothing. So while all of that was happening, I was hooked up to an IV, and yeah, I couldn't eat or drink anything. And then the ultrasound people came in, they did an ultrasound. That's how they found out that there was the gallstone stuck. And then I had to do an MRI. And oh my goodness, if you've never had an MRI, good for you, because you know, it's one of those things where I always heard that people don't like the MRI machine, and it's just claustrophobic, and it's just it builds up people's anxiety, and they just don't feel good in it. For me personally, like I tried to meditate. I'm a pretty calm person, and so going into it, I was like, oh, it's probably not that bad. I went into that thing and I kept telling myself, do not open your eyes, do not open your eyes. I opened my eyes and I was like right here by the wall of the MRI machine, and I was just like, oh my god, oh my god. Like I was literally just like started freaking out on the inside, and I looked back, and luckily like the back part was open, so I was like, okay, if I really need to get out of this thing, I'll just pull myself out of it or just boop. Like, I don't know, I was just thinking about things. And then they give you like this little pump because they can't hear you, because the person who's, you know, helping you with all the MRI stuff, he couldn't hear me, so I had to push the pump if I needed to get out or if I needed to talk to him or anything like that. And they put headphones on me because it's a really loud machine too, and it lasted for about 20 minutes. So I was in there for 20 minutes, and I just remember the person telling me like, okay, you have like 8 more minutes, 8 minutes has passed, da, da, da. I was like, oh gosh, like it was pretty crazy. But I just kept thinking about my son and my husband, and just, you know, doing this so that I can get out and back to them as soon as possible. So that's what I was thinking about, and that's what, you know, personally got me through it. And I was just trying to meditate the entire time I was in that machine. After they got back the results and everything, they were like, you have to get hospitalized because we're gonna have to do the endoscopy, and then we're gonna have to do the surgery. We've scheduled you for the endoscopy tomorrow, so you're gonna have to stay the night tonight. And here's the thing, my baby was nursing. Like I would breastfeed him, and he would also, like, he wasn't sleep trained or anything. Like he would fall asleep while he got nursed, and that's just what he was used to. So me being away, he had to get weaned cold turkey. I mean, I felt so bad. And on top of that, my husband was the one who just, I mean, he's honestly MVP, like champ. I was in the hospital for a total of 3 days, and he took care of our boy like just amazing. Like he's just such a good dad. And then my parents came over too, and they're just, I love my parents so much, and they helped out, like they helped him out too. It was just such a team effort. So I love them so much. But yeah, my son got on the sippy cup, and he started just kind of drinking out of the sippy cup before he would go to bed, and that's kind of how he learned to sleep on his own and get weaned. But the entire time I was there, I just missed them so much. And even just sleeping away from your own home in a hospital during coronavirus, all of that stuff, I mean, it's just unsettling a little bit, but at the same time, I was just, you know, I just wanted to get it done and get back to my boys. First night, I had no water, no sort of drink or anything, no food. I went to bed as soon as I got into the room because it was around 11-12 o'clock at nighttime. Next day when I woke up, there were nurses that would constantly come in and check my vitals every few hours. The doctor came in and he talked to me. He just kind of explained to me what was going to happen and everything. And then within an hour, I got rolled down. They checked my vitals. Oh, the other thing is, at the hospitals right now, if you are going to surgery, you do have to get the coronavirus test. So they did put the little swab up my nose, and oh my gosh, like that thing goes to like up here. I've never felt that sort of pain and like just weird uncomfortable feeling ever. And it was, oh, and you know, my test came back negative, and then I went into surgery. And right after I had the endoscopy, I felt like just that soreness, and just felt like there was something in my throat, and it just was really uncomfortable. Actually, after my endoscopy, I believe I had crackers. I had crackers and apple juice, I think it was. So I did have that. Then I couldn't have anything after 12 a.m. because I had the surgery the next day. So, and also I had anesthesia with both the endoscopy and with the actual surgery, so didn't know about anything. This was my first time ever having any sort of surgery or anything, so I didn't know what to expect, but they were amazing. They told me exactly what was going to happen, and the anesthesiologist talked to me as well, and so it was great. Like, I was out and they just, you know, took out my gallbladder. Yeah, the next day when I woke up, they told me that the gallbladder surgery, a lot of people actually schedule it and then they're able to go back home, but because I was hospitalized and already in the hospital and got the endoscopy, they were going to see if I needed to go home after or not. The internal medicine doctor was telling me that I'll probably have to stay the night, but then when I met with the surgeon, he was saying, oh, you'll be able to go home. So there was that toss-up where I was just telling my husband, like, I'm not sure yet, but I'll call you as soon as I know if I can go home. Literally right after surgery, they were like, oh yeah, you can go home. Like, after this, we're just gonna check up on you for the next, like, I think couple hours, and then you can go home. And I was like, okay. And so I called my husband. It was so good seeing him when I saw him. But right after I had the gallbladder surgery, that was my son, but right after I had the gallbladder surgery, I did get some more crackers and I think juice, and then the only pain that I really had was actually on my left side. It wasn't even on my right side. It was my left side and my belly button area where it was just so sore. And then they gave me pain medication and everything, and so I felt, you know, a lot better. So the first night that I came back home, I was only drinking like bone broth and really taking it easy, just having bone broth and crackers and water, and that was it. Just because I felt like I couldn't eat anything. I was just so full, I just didn't have that appetite to eat. So I went to bed, and the way I went to bed was I actually had so I slept on a separate mattress than my husband and my little boy, but I had a pillow actually around my stomach area, and then I just slept on my side a little bit, the side that didn't have the incisions. So that's kind of how I slept. And then for the next few days, I was just having things like golden milk, bone broth, crackers, and I did start having like sandwiches and ground chicken for meals and salads, things like that. I was really taking it easy, and then it wasn't until maybe 2.5 to 3 weeks where I really started indulging and trying different foods, and anything that was oily, spicy, or just super filling, oh my gosh, or really sugary too, couldn't have it. I had to go to, or I could have it, but I would have to use the restroom right away. So coffee, restroom, spicy food, restroom. Like, it was just instant. I had to use the restroom as soon as I ate certain foods. So there was that component of it as well. And so when I do eat and when I do go grocery shopping, I do have to have things that are reduced fat or low fat. Personally, I know that different doctors say different things. My internal doctor was telling me have more of a low-fat diet. The surgeon was telling me that I could eat anything I want. Everyone is different, so always consult your doctor. And then I did get an air fryer, and I've been using it every single day because, you know, there's no oil involved, and the food turns out really good. So I would recommend an air fryer. Yeah, I love my air fryer. So I did lose 15 pounds from the time that I had surgery, and also the first couple of days when I got back, I was just pumped up with gas and everything, so I looked bigger. And within 2 days after I came home, I like deflated. So there was also that. So as far as exercising goes, I'm only taking walks. Other than that, I'm not doing any sort of strength workouts, especially in my abdominal core area. I tried to do one sit-up, and honestly, it's just still so sore there that it didn't feel comfortable, and it just didn't feel right to me. So I'm not going to do any sort of core workouts or anything like that for now, and just let my body still heal. The incisions, like, they scabbed up, and the scabs fell off maybe within 4 weeks, I would say. Like, I don't have any scabs anymore, but I do still feel tenderness in those areas, and it definitely is sore. When I first got home, I did develop kind of a rash around my belly button area, and when I asked my doctor and the nurse, they said that it was probably because and I told them, like, I noticed it after I was showering, and they said that your skin is probably just getting irritated from standing in hot water for too long, or, you know, just the skin got irritated after I was getting out of the shower, and they said not to use products on it and things like that. So I think that that's what was going on with that, because right after I stopped, because I kind of changed the way that I was showering, and I wasn't letting water hit that specific area for too long and not using products in that area, the rashes went away. With that said, I still do get itchiness around the incision areas here and there as well. I don't try to scratch it. I like scratch kind of around it, like lightly scratch it, but it's nothing major for me. But yeah, the main thing is that I do still feel a little bit of soreness here and there, so I just have to take it easy on myself. That is my 1 month gallbladder update and the story of how I found out that I needed to get my gallbladder removed. So I hope you guys enjoyed that story. I do have another video that has a what I eat in a day when I first got my gallbladder removed, and I'll link that maybe on the end screen or in the description box below. So I would love it if you guys like and hit that subscribe button.